If you've been following the Raiders, you probably already sensed that something is shifting with this team. The offseason moves, the new faces, and the fresh energy surrounding Las Vegas have sparked a lot of buzz, and rightly so. The Raiders are no longer just a team hoping to get better. They're actively transforming. And the signs are clear that this season could be a turning point for the franchise. The big takeaway from recent reports is that the Raiders have been recognized as the most improved team heading into the 2025 NFL season. That's not just hype. This is a serious nod from one of the most respected voices in sports analysis. ESPN laid it out plainly. No team has made more significant strides in two of the most critical roles on the roster than the Raiders. First, let's talk about the quarterback situation, because that has been the Achilles heel for the silver and black for years. Geno Smith, the new face under center, is a multi-level upgrade compared to what the Raiders have had in recent seasons. When you think about the quarterbacks who've led the team since Derek Carr's era, it's fair to say that none brought the kind of consistency and potential to win week in and week out like Geno Smith is poised to offer. This isn't just a band-aid fix. It's a legit step forward that finally gives the Raiders a shot at having a reliable, above-average signal caller. The difference is night and day when comparing Smith to Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, the names who've taken snaps in recent years without providing the stability the team desperately needed. Geno brings a level of skill and experience that elevates the entire offense, and that's critical for a team that's been stuck in a rut for over 2 decades. Fans understandably have been cautious, wanting to see the results on the field before fully buying in, but this feels different. This quarterback change isn't just a roster move, it's a cultural shift in how the Raiders approach the game. Then there's the coaching overhaul, which can't be overstated. Pete Carroll's arrival has given this team something it sorely lacked: stability and leadership. If you look back at last season, the Raiders struggled mightily, not only on the field, but also in the coaching ranks. Antonio Pierce, despite his best efforts, faced challenges managing both the locker room and the in-game situations. Pete Carroll is a proven coach who brings decades of experience and a championship pedigree. His presence alone raises the team's floor, making every game feel winnable in a way that simply wasn't true before. When you combine Carroll's leadership with Geno Smith's talent, the Raiders suddenly look like a team that can compete every single week in one of the toughest divisions in football. Last season, it was hard to watch and not feel like the team was outmatched in those key positions. Now, it feels like the Raiders have entered a new era where they're respected, not overlooked. ESPN even went so far as to rank the Raiders among the teams with the biggest improvements, right up there with the Bears and the Patriots, which is no small feat given the pedigree of those franchises. Of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are defensive losses that will sting. Losing key players like Trayvon Merrick, Robert Blaine, Nate Hobbs, and Robert Spain will create holes that the team will have to fill. But here's where the front office's work shines through. They've been smart about adding depth through both free agency and the draft. The Raiders aren't just patching holes. They're building a more balanced and competitive roster that can handle the grind of a full NFL season. The schedule also presents a mixed bag. Starting on the road against New England is a tough way to kick things off, but there's a mid-season bye week that should give the team some breathing room. The latter part of the season will be crucial, especially around week 13, which could very well be the tipping point for how this year unfolds. While some games might look like easier matchups on paper, in the NFL, no opponent is truly a cupcake. Every week brings unpredictability, and this Raiders squad will have to bring their best against every team they face. With all of that in mind, predictions have started to come in, and there's a consensus building around the idea that the Raiders are a 500 team this year. That may sound modest, but considering the team won just 4 games last season, 4 wins that many would say they were lucky to get, that's a huge leap forward. To compete in the AFC West, a division packed with talent and tough competition, even reaching .500 would mark real progress and prove that the offseason moves made were not just smoke and mirrors, but genuine improvements. Speaking of those offseason moves, let's dive into the top 10 decisions the Raiders made that are shaping this new chapter. Starting at number 10, it might seem minor to some, but securing Jackson JPJ Powers Johnson as the starting center signals a commitment to solidifying the foundation of this offense. The type of football the Raiders want to play, aggressive and fast-paced, depends on a reliable center who can anchor the offensive line. And JPJ looks to be that guy. Locking him in means stability up front, which is often overlooked but critical for quarterback protection and opening running lanes. At number 9, the signing of Landon Roberts stands out as a key piece. Losing Robert Spain was a blow, no question. But Roberts brings leadership and grit to the linebacker core. He's not just a player, he's a potential captain. Someone who can rally the defense and keep them disciplined in high-pressure moments. The linebacker spot is a crucial position on defense, and finding a green dot player like Roberts is a win for the Raiders. Number 8 goes to Jeremy Chinn, who might not have been the first name on everyone's radar, but proved to be an essential addition. After missing out on Spain, the Raiders needed to fill that gap with a player who could contribute immediately. Chinn's style and background mirror that of Cam Chancellor, a former standout under Pete Carroll's system. Having someone like Chinn, who fits perfectly into the defensive philosophy and brings experience from a similar coaching tree, is a big win. It's a savvy move that should pay dividends in both coverage and physicality. Re-signing Malcolm Koonce on a one-year deal is another significant move that's flying under the radar for some. At $12 million, it might raise eyebrows, but Koonce is a relentless pass rusher, exactly the kind of player the Raiders want leading their defensive charge. He's a force that can disrupt opposing quarterbacks, and his contract makes him a more valuable asset than some of the other big-name free agents who came and went. Koonce embodies the toughness and tenacity this defense needs to establish as its identity. When it comes to free agency, the biggest win might just be bringing back Adam Butler. This isn't about raw stats or flashy plays. It's about what Butler brings to the trenches. He elevates everyone around him. Max Crosby, Malcolm Koonce, Clelin Ferrell, and the rest of the defensive front. Butler's presence makes the entire defensive line better, which is critical for the Raiders to control the line of scrimmage. While some might argue about individual talent comparisons, the synergy Butler creates is unmatched. This kind of impact player is exactly what the Raiders needed to round out their defensive rebuild. Now, as we edge closer to the top 5, it's clear that these moves are more than just signings. They represent a strategic vision for a team that wants to compete immediately. Drafting Ashton Gentry stands out among the rookies. There was room to discuss other draft picks, but Gentry's skill set and mentality align perfectly with the aggressive style Pete Carroll is instilling. He's not just a player for the future. He's someone who can make an impact right away, adding speed and toughness to the defense. The Max Crosby extension is another standout moment. Some might think it's a bit high on the list, but the message the Raiders sent by locking Crosby in long term is loud and clear. This team is committed to winning now. Crosby is one of the best pass rushers in the league, and making sure he stays healthy and motivated is key to the Raiders' defensive success. It shows respect for players who perform and rewards loyalty, which helps build a culture of commitment and passion. At number 3, the hiring of Pete Carroll was initially met with some skepticism. It's understandable. After several coaching misfires, fans were cautious about another high-profile hire. But Carroll brings something no previous coach could: stability, experience, and the ability to compete against the elite of the AFC West. With Pete at the helm, the Raiders are no longer just hoping to survive the division. They're ready to challenge the likes of Andy Reid's Chiefs or Sean Payton's Broncos with confidence. Even more intriguing is the hiring of John Spithill. This might surprise some people, but Spithill's influence on his team could be even more significant than Carroll's. Behind the scenes, Spithill has been a driving force in shaping the Raiders' strategy, personnel decisions, and overall direction. His vision and connections have brought a level of professionalism and focus that the franchise desperately needed. Many would argue that this hire laid the groundwork for many of the successful moves we're seeing today. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. Don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most surprising twists of the NFL offseason, rumors are swirling around Davante Adams and his growing discontent with the Las Vegas Raiders. The star wide receiver, known for his impeccable route running and elite Hans reportedly admitted in a private conversation that he regrets his decision to leave the Green Bay Packers, a revelation that has sent shockwaves through the league's rumor mill. Sources close to the situation suggest that Adams has been increasingly candid about his feelings, allegedly saying, "I regret it every single day." While there's no official statement from Adams or his camp, insiders claim that the wideout has privately acknowledged that the transition to Las Vegas hasn't been what he envisioned. The chemistry with his new quarterbacks has been inconsistent, and despite flashes of brilliance, the Raiders have struggled to find the success Adams once enjoyed in Green Bay alongside MVP quarterback Aaron Rodgers. The speculation has reignited discussions about a potential reunion between Adams and Rodgers, now with the New York Jets, or even a blockbuster trade that could send Adams back to the Packers. Though such scenarios remain purely speculative at this point, league executives are reportedly keeping a close eye on the situation, knowing that a player of Adams' caliber rarely expresses this level of remorse publicly or privately, adding, "Fuel to the fire." Several of Adams' former teammates from Green Bay have hinted on social media that they'd welcome him back with open arms. The NFL is no stranger to dramatic homecomings, and fans are already fantasizing about Adams donning the green and gold once again. For now, it remains just a rumor, a whisper that has taken flight through locker rooms and front offices alike. But if there's one thing the NFL has taught us, it's that where there's smoke, there's often fire. Could a stunning trade be on the horizon? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear. Davante Adams' admission has stirred a new wave of speculation that is impossible to ignore. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.